Many of you may have heard about a recent video where a group of doctors stood in front of the U.S. Supreme Court to talk about this and that, whatever, who cares, not important. They called it the White Coat Summit, and when I heard that name, at first I thought it was going to be a Klan rally, so you can imagine my surprise when I clicked on it and I saw a black woman speaking. That black woman was the Venerable Dr. Stella Emanuel, or as I like to call her, Dr. Demon Sperm. And if you don't know what venerable means, Google it. She is 2020's golden child. She is a walking cure for the boredom and the lack of excitement that 2020 has wrought upon all of us. Why, you might ask? Well, I know you probably didn't ask that, but I'm going to tell you anyways. Despite being a doctor, she is no fan of science, scientific medicine, the scientific method, or anything that could be considered objective. She is a throwback to 15th century doctors who, upon hearing that you have a stomach ache, determined that you have ghosts in your blood and you should do cocaine about it. That's not my joke. I stole it from a meme. Dr. Demon Sperm got her medical degree in Nigeria, where I'm sure old world superstitions still have an active role in modern society. Everybody's customs are different. Nothing wrong with that. Perfectly fine. Except when you become a doctor and you introduce those things into medicine, which would explain a lot of her unfounded beliefs. Here are some of the colorful and astounding claims made by Dr. Stella in all their glory that she has made over the years. Dr. Stella claims that gynecological problems are caused by women having sex with witches and demons in the dream world. Definitely a sane position to have. But women don't get to have all the fun because men can also make the sexy time with the witches and the demons, in turn causing them to have problems with their reproductive organs as well. Dr. Stella claims that alien DNA is currently being used in medical treatments. She could certainly benefit from some of those treatments herself, I am sure. Dr. Stella also claims that scientists have discovered a gene in the brain that causes people to be religious, and those same scientists are actively trying to develop a vaccine that will prevent people from being religious. This doctor clearly has no idea what genes are, what they do, how they work, what vaccines are, what they do, and how they work. That's pretty terrifying considering she is a practicing doctor. A doctor! But this is one of those things that goes to show just because a doctor says it doesn't mean it's true. Just because it's what you want to hear doesn't make it true. Dr. Stella's website also provides some pretty amazing services. They offer a prayer that removes a generational curse that has been inherited from an ancestor via the placenta. That sounds absolutely useful, and I wonder how much that costs, because I think I might have one of those generational curses. But just for the record, I am not having sex with demons or witches in the dream world. At least, not that I can remember. I don't think I have. Dr. Stella once warned that the Disney Channel show Hannah Montana is a gateway to evil. Ha! Finally, something Dr. Stella and I agree on. According to Dr. Stella, the following shows and programs were designed by the Illuminati to take control of children and introduce them to demons and witches and witchcraft. Pokemon, Harry Potter, Wizards of Waverly Place, and That's So Raven. I never would have thought that That's So Raven would be such a edgy thing. There are also toys and games designed by the Illuminati to reach this same sort of conclusion, getting children to accept witchcraft and believe in demons and witches and that sort of thing, such as the Magic 8 Ball, an innocuous toy that you ask a question, you shake it up, you flip it over, and it gives you the answer. Dr. Stella claims that the magic 8-ball was designed to introduce children to witchcraft and to get them to partake in it. Dr. Stella also claims that the US government is run by reptilian, non-human creatures. It's funny that we have come to this point because just in my previous video, I think I talk about David Icke and his reptilian theory sort of thing going on in the Karen review video. In a 2015 sermon about the Illuminati, Dr. Stella claims that she had a conversation with a reptilian spirit that was half human and half ET. Lastly, Dr. Stella is very anti-LGBT and very homophobic. She once praised a father who rejected his daughter that came out as gay or trans something or another. I'm not really sure, but I read that little snippet and she praised that in one of her sermons. She claims that gay Americans are practicing homosexual terrorism, whatever that is. These are just a handful of the wildly absurd claims that Dr. Stella has made. There are many, many, many more, and if you are interested, you can go out into the world on the internet and discover more of them for yourselves. Clearly, she is not a person whose medical advice anybody should be taking. And some people have pointed out that not all of those doctors on that white coat panel share the same beliefs, and that is true. However, if you are associating with somebody like Dr. Stella with all their crazy ideas and theories in a professional setting, your own judgment immediately is going to come into question. But people do believe individuals like Dr. Stella because it gives them that biased confirmation that they are so desperately craving. Just the same way that anytime Dr. Fauci says anything, people flock to his word because, again, it gives them that biased confirmation. Now, you might be thinking this is an anti-right video. You might be thinking this is an anti-left view. It's not. It's none of those. I make fun of both sides because both sides are filled with nothing but nitwits and dumbasses. It's also interesting that during the White Coat Summit, Dr. Stella said this.
I know people want to talk about mask. Hello? You don't need mask. You don't need mask. You don't need mask.
You don't need mask.
And that is rather amusing because in a video posted on April 26th on her medical clinic's Facebook page, she is clearly seen wearing a mask, and she also says this.
When you walk into our clinic, sanitize your hands and put on a mask. Put on a mask. Put on a mask.
Ooh, if it weren't for double standards, some people would have no standards at all. If you would like to check out some of Dr. Stella's other colorful sermons, you can check down in the description where I will link some of her wild sermons that are super ultra double lit, and you could watch them for yourselves. But listener, beware, it might make you drop a couple of IQ points. Now, this video that was posted about the White Coat Summit, you know, they posted it all over social media and Facebook, Twitter, pretty much everybody, Instagram, have been working double time to constantly keep taking this video down. YouTube as well. They put it on YouTube. YouTube struck it right down. So they've been working really hard to keep this video off of the internet, which I think is a complete mistake because, first of all, I'm against censorship. I'm against cancel culture. I'm against banning things. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm against it. And the reason that they are taking these videos down is they claim that they are spreading misinformation. And that very well might be true, but by trying to subdue it, trying to censor it, all you're doing is lending that video credibility as some sort of truth and some sort of secret that the big powers that be don't want getting out. If people want to watch it, if people want to believe it, if people are that devoid of any intellect, then you should just let them do it. The more you try to subdue the video, the more people are going to flock to it. And that's just how it goes. It's like telling a teenager they can't do something. What do you think is going to be the first thing on their agenda? Is to go do that thing. And so all these social media giants are saying, you can't watch this video because reasons. And so people are going to want to go to it and see what it's about. People that might have seen that video otherwise and been unconvinced, the whole idea that it's being so censored and so subdued might make them think, well, there's got to be a reason for that. That must be the truth, and the powers that be don't want us finding out. So anyways, they took down her video on all social media platforms. So Dr. Stella took to Twitter to voice her displeasure and her annoyance about her video being taken down. And she said, "Hello, Facebook. Put back my profile page and videos up, or your computers with start crashing till you do. You are not bigger than God, I promise you. If my page is not back up, Facebook will be down in Jesus' name." First and foremost, her grammar is absolutely atrocious. Now, I know most of you will not care because your own grammar is absolutely atrocious. I read some of those comments and I'm thinking, this person that wrote this comment must have been hit over the head about 50 or 60 times with a shovel and then wrote that comment, because that's the only way it could be that bad. I love this little part in the video right here where she seems not to know what the NIH is, or at least what NIH stands for.
And I found out that they even did a recent study in the NIH, which is our National Institute, that is the National NIH, National Institute of Health.
Brilliant doctor. This woman is a doctor. Yeesh. That is just my opinion on the matter. Everybody's going to have a different opinion, a different take, and that's fine. I'm always open to differing opinions, differing ideas. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.